Picture a regular Tuesday. You're driving to work, already 10 minutes late. In your pocket is a card with the last $40 you have until payday. And then a squeal. Quiet, irritating, somewhere under the hood. You turn down the music. The noise is still there. You turn the music back up. The noise hasn't gone anywhere. You just can't hear it anymore. And you keep driving. Because you have no other choice. 3 weeks later, the car dies in the middle of the highway. Tow truck, $180. The repair that could have been fixed for $90 now costs $1,100. Missed shifts, another $400 gone, total. A problem that cost $90 to fix turned into a $1,680 debt. That is not bad luck. That is an equation. And today, we are going to break it down. My name is Johnny. I don't teach you how to get rich in 3 months. What I do is break down the things nobody talks about, the hidden rules of money that work against you, even when you're doing everything right. This video is not about investing, and not about cutting out your morning coffee. It's about a system that profits from the fact that you don't have enough, and about how to get out of it. If you have ever postponed a small repair because of money, this video is for you. Watch till the end. There are expenses you can see. Rent, food, phone bill, but there are others. Ones that never show up on any receipt. Pause. You pay them alone. Pause. Simply because you have no cushion. Here's a simple picture. 2 people standing in the rain. One has a $40 umbrella he bought 3 years ago. Still carries it today. The other doesn't have $40. So he buys a cheap $8 one. It breaks within a month. Over 3 years, he spent $28 on umbrellas that didn't work. The wealthy guy paid $40 and stayed dry. The broke guy spent less up front and got soaked every single time. That is the poverty tax. You are not paying for the object. You are paying a premium for the absence of capital. And this is not about umbrellas. This is about every single purchase in your life. Your phone, your car, your insurance, your credit, your home. Everywhere you have no buffer, the system charges you double. I'm about to show you 3 places where that tax is quietly taken from you. Every single month. Take the most ordinary thing. Laundry detergent. The big box at a warehouse store. Cost per load, roughly 18 cents. The small packet at the corner store. That same load cost you 75 cents. That's more than 4 times the price. For the exact same clean clothes. The only reason you pay more is that you don't have an extra $20 to buy in bulk. This applies to diapers, coffee, meat, medicine, anything. The less money you have, the more expensive every dollar becomes. The wealthy buy in bulk and pay less per unit. The broke buy in small quantities and pay more per unit, at the same level of consumption. Higher inflation for lower incomes is not just an economic term. It is your grocery receipt. Here is how a bank operates. If you have $5,000 in your account, they smile at you, no fees, a manager on call, maybe even cash back. If you have $12 in your account, different story. A streaming subscription pulls $15. Your balance goes negative by $3. The bank immediately adds an overdraft fee, $35. You borrowed $3 for 1 day, you paid $35 for it. Run the math on that in annual percentage terms. It comes out to roughly 400,000%. No loan shark in the world would dare say that number out loud. The bank calls it account terms and conditions. The wealthy client earns interest on their balance. The broke client pays interest for not having a balance. This is not an accident. This is a business model. But money is not the only thing being taken from you. What comes next is something almost nobody talks about. Researchers at Princeton ran a study. The conclusion: when a person is constantly thinking about how to cover a debt or just make it to payday, their cognitive performance drops by roughly 13 IQ points. That is the equivalent of working after a sleepless night every single day. Not because you are not smart, because your brain is busy with survival. That is why someone takes out a payday loan at 400% interest, not because they cannot do math, because they need to pay rent today, not think about interest rates a year from now. That is why people buy a lottery ticket instead of saving that money. It is not a lack of willpower. It is a brain running on emergency mode. And the system knows this perfectly well, and it takes full advantage. By the way, if you made it to this point, this topic clearly hits home. Hit subscribe right now. We break down exactly these kinds of things every week. The stuff that doesn't show up in any personal finance textbook. Open your bank statements from the last 3 months. Find one line item that exists only because you have no cushion. High interest on a loan, late payment fees, overpaying by buying small quantities, one leak. That is all you need to find. Do not try to fix everything at once. Pick that one point and direct everything you can toward it. Sell things you don't need. Pick up a weekend side gig. Not because you enjoy it, because every leak you close is money that will never drain out of that hole again. Stop asking, can I afford this? Start asking, what is the total cost of this over 3 years? A cheap thing you buy 5 times costs more than a good one bought once. That is not thriftiness, that is arithmetic. And once you start doing that math, the rules of the game shift in your favor. One last thing, and this matters. What I'm about to say is what most finance channels won't tell you.